Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing how can I stay in Thailand without getting a visa. For those who are unaware about, last week I did a video where I basically said, look, we're coming out of dealing with the past couple of years and all the shutdown of Thailand, travel restrictions associated with Thailand, and, frankly, talking about that, which was a major topic for years, more than 2 years actually. Basically I have more time to talk about other stuff, and I asked what would people like me to talk about, which led me to a comment that I'm going to quote here directly that was on that video, and quoting directly, how to stay in the country as long as possible without getting a visa. Can I stay indefinitely just making border runs every couple of months? Okay, so to the first question, let me quote directly. Again, how to stay in the country as long as possible without getting a visa? Well, you can't. Long story short is there's not going to be a set of circumstances where you can stay for a very prolonged period of time in Thailand without some sort of visa. So as we've discussed in other videos, yes, presently folks of certain nationalities are granted 45 days visa exemption on arrival in Thailand. So if you fly into Thailand, for example, on a U.S. passport, you'll be given 45 days at entry. If you want to go ahead and extend that status in Thailand, you can get another 30 days of status in Thailand. And then one could, in theory, go do a border run, although you need to be careful about how you do that. There are formalities associated with dealing with border runs right now. But go do a border run, hop out, come back in, get another 45 days at entry, and then in theory also be able to get 30 on top of that. Now, as we've discussed in other videos, the Royal Gazette, there's been an announcement, it was years back, but it's still in there, it's still good law, that basically says, look, you only get to do sort of a border run twice a year. We're only going to guarantee it, for lack of a better term, twice in a calendar year. Now, as I've discussed, it's not a hard and fast rule. If there's good reason why you need like a third border run, there may be circumstances where immigration might let you back in. That being said, if you've been living in Thailand, maxing out your visa exempt time for the first two, don't expect that. In the circumstances where we see a third quote-unquote border run granted, it's usually granted where somebody is coming in and out a lot. Like they come in, they do a couple, 3 days. It might be they're not necessarily here on business, but they maybe want to meet someone, and then they fly back out. They go to Singapore, they go where they're based or something, and then they fly in a little while later and they stay a couple of days. And then months go by and they fly in and want to stay a couple of days. Thai immigration is probably going to let that happen. A third time just trying to live here, not so much. Which leads me to the second question. Can I stay indefinitely just making border runs every couple of months? No. That era has come and gone. We've discussed this in a number of videos in the past. Prior to about 2008, I want to say it was about 2008 if I recall, 7, 8, right when I was coming on the scene here in Thailand, it was possible prior to that to essentially live in Thailand indefinitely on 30-day stamps. And there were people that lived up along the borders, especially the northern borders of Thailand and the borders with Cambodia, that would do that all the time. It was just their monthly excursion. Oftentimes I'd talk to folks that would say, oh yeah, once a month we'd go over to the market in Laos or the market in Cambodia, and we'd buy some stuff that we couldn't otherwise get in Thailand, and we just use it as an excuse to cross out, cross back in, get another 30 days, and I just keep on going. I mean, I remember seeing passports of people that had just stamp after stamp after stamp of 30 days. Well, that ended in about 2006, 7, 8, somewhere around there. Then they brought in, you could only get 3, boom, 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 back to back, and then you had to get some kind of visa. And then after an interval of another 90 days, you could get another 3. That then fell by the wayside when we got into about 2012, 13, 14, if I recall, when they started going after people because they specifically said they didn't want them living here on visa exemption and tourist visa status. So they basically came down and said, no, you need to maintain long-term non-immigrant status if you want to maintain presence in Thailand. And that's basically the system we're dealing with now, albeit a little bit tighter, even more so, on things like retirement visas and business visas than we were dealing with back in 11, 12, which is now 10 years ago, which is weird to think about. But long story short, yeah, indefinite exemption stamps are gone, indefinite tourist visas gone. You need to maintain long-term non-immigrant status if you want to live in Thailand for the long term.